Misha here. If you enjoy our episodes on career pathways in healthcare or the STEM field at large, then I have the perfect podcast recommendation for you, Raising Health. Previously called Bio Eats World, Raising Health comes from leading venture capital firm Andreessen Horowitz, the same team behind the acclaimed A16Z podcast. Each episode, Raising Health dives deep into the heart of healthcare, biotech, and AI with venture capital investors and A16Z general partners. Along the way, they explore the real challenges and opportunities in health and biotech entrepreneurship. So whether you're interested in building a new digital healthcare company or your company is advancing a new, novel medicine, Raising Health sheds light on some of the opportunities and obstacles along the founder's journey. Not to mention, you'll hear raw insights, actionable advice from notable guests like Omada CEO and co-founder Sean Duffy, and AI expert and In Citro CEO Daphne Kohler. Don't miss out. Follow Raising Health on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and tell them I sent you.
A science story, huh?
These NYU scientists,
I felt
really
right.
but I was so
And I just thought, well,
I had figured it out.
it was that golden moment.
Because science was on my side.
Hey everyone, I'm Ben Lilly, and welcome to the Story Collider, where we bring you true personal stories about science. This week's story is from Virendra Singh. It was recorded in March 2015 at the New American Shakespeare Tavern in Atlanta, Georgia, as part of the Atlanta Science Festival.
I grew up in a farming family back in India, and I am the youngest among my siblings. We went to middle school in the neighboring village, and right after the middle school, my big brothers went to high school in the neighboring town. And there were different plans for me. So there was a family tradition, one of the boy need to stay back and continue the farming. And somewhere back in my mind, I knew it will be me, because brothers is already out in the city, they are doing higher education. So always in the school, when the class teacher asks, what do you want to become when you grow up? Some of my classmates say they want to become a teacher. Some of them say, they want to become a police officer. Some of them say doctor, some of them say engineer. And my answer to that, I will be a farmer. And I was kind of happy to do that because I knew if I stay home, I will get a freshly cooked food. I could get to eat the raw vegetables at the farm. But as I was finishing my 8th grade, I went to collect my final report card, and I think I scored well. But during that summer, I started going to the farm, helping on a small task. My grandfather used to assign me simple tasks because I'm growing up as a farmer. And slowly, as summer progressed, my grandfather fell sick. Now, all my classmates from middle school, they were getting admission forms, going to the town and city, and they are getting ready to the high school. But at that time, my father said, you would stay at home because we need a helping hand at farm because grandfather is sick, and I cannot afford going you. We need these 2 hands here and graduate as a farmer. And I was happy. I said, yay, that's what I want. In terms of getting fresh food, I don't want to go to the city. But as summer progressed, I started getting a full-time task. And they assigned me still going to the farm, watering the crops, or feeding the cattle. But at the summer and towards the fall, there is always, all summer are humid and hot back in India. But that summer I was doing this, helping harvesting the final set of the sugarcane crop. And I was standing on the cart, the other laborers and helpers bring those bundles of the sugarcane. I standing on the cart and align those sugarcane bundles so that we can fill up the cart fully. And the sun at that time is too intense. Every time I try to run into the shadow, like under the cart, just to see, like, okay, I could stand there for some time until the next bundle comes in. And my grandfather, because he was staying in the shadow, looking from the other side of the farm, and he's thinking, like, this guy could not do farming. And because every time I was running here and there, so one cart goes, next cart come in, we did the same thing again, and it goes for weeks and then months. And that actually led me to start thinking, like, I need to get off the farming. Because I can do it for early morning, like at least up to 10 a.m., but I cannot do it for the whole day. Not for the whole week, at least. So my friends who actually went to the town, in the evening, they come to me and they say, oh, high school is good. The city is good. You get a chance to see a movie in the theater. You get a chance to eat something different than from home cooked. And I would say, okay, I'm stuck in the farming. So that actually kind of encouraged me, like, okay, I need to get back. And one day I get enough encouragement and talk to my dad. Well, we are still at the farm. I told him, Dad, I want to go back to school. And he says loud, no. I said, I was scared a little bit. But he had a good argument for that. He said, I cannot afford another housing. Neither I can afford hiring another helper. So it's no for you. Well, I take a deep breath and sit down again and continue the daily courses. Then after a few days, I thought, okay, I need to take next step. And the next step there, back home in my family particularly, if you could not convince your dad, you talk to your mom. So one day, while she was making food, I was eating, and I was finishing up my dinner, I told Mom, I want to go back to school because it's too hot and too hard to do farming. And she thought somebody like my friends actually say something to me, and I'm trying to get back there. But she said, go back to bed and sleep because tomorrow is a lot of work at the farm. And I went to bed. But I was kind of emotional at that time. I said, okay, now there is no chance. So I was crying slowly in the bed, and my mother initially ignored me. She thought, okay, he will sleep after some time, just ignore him. But I could not sleep. I was thinking, no, I cannot do this. So after some time, she came to me, she was patting my legs and saying, okay, my head. And then she said, okay, I will talk to your dad. And she did next day. But the dad had the same reasoning. He again said, no, we cannot do this because I cannot afford another housing in the city, or I cannot hire the helping hand, so we need him here. Well, I stay back in the farm. The school is running there, there is a school in session already. I used to go again, at the farm, and my grandfather improving his health at that time. So my mother told me, talk to your grandpa. I said, okay, but I need to find a right moment for that. So one day, while we were walking to home with our cattle, like cows and buffaloes, we had this little conversation, we do so much of work at farm. What we get out of this? And my grandfather was illiterate. He don't know where to sell the crop. So he told me, I don't know, it's a lot of hard work at farm, and there is nothing you can get out of it. And I said, Grandpa, I want to go back to school. We are still walking slowly. He said, yes, you should go to school and educate yourself at least up to high school at least, so that even if you end up doing farming, you know how to do farming better. And then I thought, okay, but my daddy is not getting ready. He don't want me to go. And he just, then we went home, did all these evening courses at the home. Next day at the farm, during the lunch break, all of us sitting in the farm in the big tree, in the shade of the big tree. And they had this conversation. My grandfather started, like, let's send him to the school. And they had long conversation. But in the end, my grandfather said, if we don't send this guy to the school, in the later age, he will curse all of us. He would do it because his big brothers are already in the city, they might get settled, and he will curse all of us like, you put me in the farming. That final dialogue from my grandfather, I think, led my dad to rethink about his decision. And in the evening, I think he went and met some of my middle school teacher, just to know like which stream I need to take, like whether I should take art or science or commerce. And they said, oh, he was a good student. He did very well in mathematics, so you should get him admitted in the science. So my dad said, okay, let's go to school tomorrow. We both went to the neighboring town for his high school, and we requested a meeting with the principal because the school is already in session. We were like a couple of months late. And after waiting for probably 30 minutes or 45 minutes, we got a call from principal office. We went there. The first thing, and principal was really strict at that time. I don't know, they still be strict, but he was very strict. He said, which class you are in? He thought I'm serving a parent call. I said, my father said, oh, we are here for his admission. Then principal says, but it's too late. Come back next year. And my leg was like shaking. Oh no, I don't want to go back to farm. So I said, sir, I will catch up. I will catch up with the courses. I will catch up with the class. He think about it and he said, which is your favorite subject? I think about it and then said, algebra. And then principal immediately called a math teacher. And I didn't know what's going on. The math teacher came in, and he has those like pop quiz. He immediately write 5 algebraic equation on the white paper and asked me to solve at least 3 of them. And I was, really, I'm out of practice. But this is the chance. I mean, otherwise we will go back to home and I will end up going to the farm again. So I happily said, okay, I will try. And they let me sit into the other side of the corner in the principal office. I look into those equations, and he asked me to solve 3, but in next 25 to 30 minutes, I solved all of those 5. But they were easy. They were not hard. And while I was solving that, my father sitting on the other side next to the principal, I'm on the side table, and he was looking at me. And I was not sure whether dad will be proud of me if I solve it, because I was not sure whether he want me to fail in that test or he want me to do well. But as soon as I solved it, I handed it over to the math teacher, and math teacher was very excited to see it. You know, some of the math teachers, they get excited when they find a good math student. They say, this is the student I want. Something like that. I mean, he thought he will score well in the high school, and I will be proud because he will be a student in my class. So he told principal immediately, sir, this boy will catch up. Don't worry. I mean, give him admission. So then principal say, okay, come back, start school tomorrow. And we were like at least 3 months back in the school session. While we stand up, me and my dad walking towards the exit door, at that time, for some time, we were like quiet, both of us. I was thinking like, which books I need, because I didn't know like what would be the subjects at that time. And my dad was thinking something different. So in that probably I would say 500 yards distance, then he says, you got to do, he said those 2 rules for me if I want to get it back to the school. You have to commute every day from home to school and back to home so that you could still help at the farm in the evening and over the weekend. And I said, okay, I can do that. That's just 1 hour of commute, like one way. So it's approximately 2 hours every day. I could do that. Then the second, he said, you have to score enough in each grade so that you can get promoted to the next class. If you fail in any subject, just even by one mark, you will be back to the farm. And I was thinking, okay. He said, there is no chance. There is no chance I will allow you to repeat any subject. I didn't say anything, but I walked back, we went to village. But that rule number 2 actually make me self-competitive. And that kind of unusual motivation. But still, every year when I went back to take my report card, I get nervous or anxious because I was not sure whether I did well or not until somebody told me, oh, you passed very well, don't worry. That rule at least led me to the higher education continuously. I must say every year after that, my academic performance at least improved. And that specifically sparked a lifelong learning in me. And for that, I thank you, my dad.
That was Virendra Singh. Virendra was born in a farmer's family in northern India. He experienced and learned engineering challenges while growing up on the agriculture farms. After receiving his PhD in chemistry in 2007, he joined the Georgia Institute of Technology, where he's currently working as a material scientist. His research focuses on the area of macromolecular nanoengineering. His latest research efforts are directed towards developing nanostructured materials with enhanced electrical and thermal transport for better performance of devices and engineering components. In his spare time, he enjoys developing new recipes, chemistry, in the kitchen. The Story Collider is produced by me, Brian Weck, Darren Barker, Ari Daniel, Christine Gentry, and Skylar Bear. The podcast is produced by Rose Eveleth. Additional help from Brooke Williams, Lena Groger, and Justin D'Ambrosio. The theme music is by Ghost. Special thanks to the New American Shakespeare Tavern for hosting the show, to the Atlanta Science Festival for being amazing partners, and to Summer in New York for keeping us guessing. Thanks for listening.
Every day, we rise, challenging ourselves to work for what we believe in. At U.S. Border Patrol, protecting our borders is more than a job. It's a calling. Agents answer the call, working together to keep our country and communities safe. If you're ready for a new mission, join U.S. Border Patrol and go beyond. Learn more at cbp.gov/careers.